Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me today for another Twilight Zone video in my Twilight Zone ranking series, where I rank every episode of the original Twilight Zone from my least favorite to my favorite. Today I'm going to be talking about number 57, A Game of Pool, written by George Clayton Johnson and directed by Buzz Kulik. This is a Season 3 episode, and as always there will be episode spoilers. So, A Game of Pool is a really strong Twilight Zone episode in my opinion. I would say it's a minor classic. There's only two characters, but the acting and directing is very, very strong. And George Clayton Johnson's script is interesting as well. Jack Klugman as Jesse and Jonathan Winters as Fats Brown are both great in this episode, in my opinion. So this one starts in a pool hall, and we meet one of our main characters, Jesse, and he's frustrated because even though he's good at pool, he feels he would be the best ever if he could just beat a man named Fats Brown. The only problem is that Fats is deceased. So, being a Twilight Zone episode, Fats appears and tells Jesse that he can have his wish and play against him. The only thing is if Jesse wins, he will be called the greatest pool player ever, which is what he wants. And if Fats wins, Jesse will pass away. He will be a goner. Now, this is the one thing in the episode that I always thought was odd. I mean, the setup is interesting, and I know that Jesse is desperate, but this doesn't seem like a very good bet on his part. I mean, Fats isn't giving up nearly as much if he loses. I guess you could say he's kind of tricking Jesse or playing off his desperation, if you want to look at it that way. So Jesse agrees to these terms, and they play the game of pool. And I have to say, for this just being two guys playing pool, the scene is pretty tension-filled and suspenseful, so I give credit to director Buzz Kulik and both of the actors. And some of the dialogue is pretty interesting as well, with Fats telling Jesse there's more to life, than just being the best at pool, but Jesse staying very focused on the game, very determined. So, of course, as you would expect, it all comes down to the last shot, and Fats misses his, and Jesse sinks his shot and wins and gets his wish. Now, Fats definitely seems okay with losing because he's basically free of his obligations, and now Jesse, after he passes away, has to play the role that Fats played and defend his title as the best against a new challenger. So the message is interesting about wanting to be the best, but also the responsibility that comes with it. It's kind of a unique message for the Twilight Zone, and A Game of Pool is a unique episode. And I think it's just very good all the way around. Like I said, the bet is oddly set up. You could argue Fats has no real reason to win at all, but I could also say that maybe that's part of the message and themes of the episode. So overall, this is a well-acted and directed episode that flows well and is paced very well for just being a two-man show, and that's why A Game of Pool comes in at number 57 on the list. As always, feel free to let me know what you thought of this episode of Game of Pool, if you liked it or not. Thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.